Okay, we're gonna get into the Digitakt II stuff now. So I'm gonna go through the steps to creating a full song on the Digitakt II from scratch. You already saw me transfer the samples from the computer over to the Digitakt II using the transfer app. So starting from scratch, we want to create a new project. So here we go. Save, or whatever, press this thing. Project, yes. Load project, create new, save this. Nope, we don't want to save anything, and we want to proceed. Initializing project. Success. I want to save project as, yeah. I have already created the song. It's right here. Just create a new one. So slot number 5, yes. Let's name it RD. Yeah. So hold down function RD space trash me. Save, yes. Saving. Okay. So we have created a new project called RD. I already forget. Trash me. Yeah, RD trash me. Next step is to load the samples. So there are a lot of samples in this song. I have found a faster way to load a bunch of samples. Well, this is how you do it. Hold down function. You go to samples there. Samples. The samples are loaded in the plus drive. So you want to go to the plus drive. Yes. And I put them in the incoming folder. Reindeer. Okay, so I want to load all of these samples. So press yes until there's a check mark and keep pressing yes. You want to load them all. Make sure there's a check mark next to all of them. That's it. Okay. Then you press this button, left. So here it says destination RAM bank. So function yes. So function Y. Because I want to load it to bank B. So it's saying trigger 9 to 16. So 10. Press 10. It says B. Yes, that's where I want it to go. Let's press yes. And then load to project. It's highlighted, press yes. Load 32 samples, confirm yes, no? Yes. So now it's loading all 32 samples into bank B of the project. Just like that. How fast was that? So I want to do the same with the vocal chops. Vox chops. So I made a folder, Vox chops. Go yes. And just press yes. Want to load them all. So all 39 samples. This is the right arrow. Right arrow. So function Y. So function yes. Trig is going to be 11 for bank C. Yes. Load to project. Press yes. You want to load 39 samples? Yes. So it's loading all the vocal samples into bank C of the project. It's taking a while. 39 samples loaded. Okay, cool. Press no to go back. No. Oh, I went too far back. So function samples. So if you go to project RAM, this is the project. These are all the samples that are loaded. So in bank A here, these are the default samples. I just left them there. I don't know why. I just like to do that. If you keep going down, there's no faster way to switch banks. You gotta keep scrolling down past 128. See, now you're in bank B. These are all the samples that I loaded. The one hit samples, and then keep scrolling down. Gotta go beyond B128 to get to bank C. And now here's all the vocal samples. Okay, so that's how you load in samples. Now to save it, so here's a fast way to save it. Function save the cogwheel, save project. Save all patterns and project settings, yes. Done. Next step, I want to set up the Digitakt II MIDI configuration. Like I said, I want to make this as efficient as possible. So I'm going to use Ableton Live to sequence the Digitakt II because I spent quite some time preparing the song in Ableton Live. To do that, we gotta set it up so that the computer, which is running Ableton Live, can communicate with the Digitakt II. So the first thing that needs to be done is you need to make sure you got the USB cable connected. So I'm just using the USB-C cable that came with the ELEKTRON. It's actually a USB-C to USB-A cable. Okay, so one end is connected to the laptop, and this one is connected to where it says USB. On the Digitakt, these are the settings. So you want to go to the cogwheel for the settings. Get out of here, so no. Go down to MIDI config. Yes. So in sync, just use all the defaults. Port config, just use all the defaults. Okay, go back. Okay, so channels, yes. Okay, so I'm going to change a bunch of these. So here for channel 9, track 9 channel, just press this button, the right button. Just make it match. So 9. Same with 10. Just go make it match. 10, 11, 11, 12, 12, 13, 13, 14, 14, 15, and 16. 16. Okay, the reason why is because on the Digitakt II, you've got 16 tracks that can potentially be MIDI tracks. And I want to use them all as MIDI. So I've made sure all 16 tracks are enabled with the corresponding channels. Then for auto channel, the default is 10. I want to change that to 16. Why? I forget, but I've chosen auto channel to be 16. And I will explain why when I show you how I set up Ableton. I got my pocket camera. Next step is setting up Ableton Live for MIDI. Okay, so here is Ableton Live, and this is the Reindeer Home version song mode project. When you connect the cable, the USB cable from the Digitakt to the computer, Ableton should automatically detect the ELEKTRON as a MIDI device. Okay, so what you need to do is, and I'll recreate this. What you need to do is add a MIDI track. So add that Shift Command T. Here's the new MIDI track, and rename it whatever. Okay, it's just temporary. And then you want to configure the MIDI to, so the output here. I just go to the top. So select ELEKTRON DIGITAKT II. Okay. You want to go into the preference, so command, comma, preferences. Go to the tab that says link tempo MIDI. So here it detected ELEKTRON DIGITAKT II in and out. So for this purpose, we just want MIDI out. So just make sure the MIDI out, track, and sync are enabled. Okay, that's it. That's all you need. So exit out of that. So with the channel, set it to channel 16, because if you remember on the Digitakt here, we had auto channel set to channel 16. Okay, and the reason why, so here's what the manual says about this. Auto channel, so if you set your external MIDI, so that's, in this case, Ableton Live, if you set that to channel whatever, so in this case, 16, it will play whatever track is active on the Digitakt II. Next step is to create the first pattern. So first, let's name the pattern. So on the Digitakt, I'm gonna go to cogwheel. So just go back. So press no, back, and pattern. So pattern, yes. Rename, yes. So I'm just gonna rename it 39 because that is the pattern number for the first pattern in the Impulse Tracker song. But you can name it whatever you want. And then yes to save it. So now the pattern, first pattern, so A01, it's called 39. Might as well set the tempo. So press this button. 120, turn this dial here till it says 125. The first thing I want to sequence is the bass line. So consulting my charts, the bass is on track 9. Right now, that is the default bass sample on the Digitakt that's playing there. I'll show you on Ableton Live. So here is bass. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy, so Control-C, and then paste it here, Control-V. This is the channel designated for the MIDI out to the Digitakt. If I play it, this is what it sounds. It's right now, this is triggering the Digitakt. Sounds bad. So looking down here, length says 4. So that's 4 bars. On the Digitakt, that means 4 pages. I'll pause this here. That means 4 pages, or 64 steps. Okay, can't make this stand up. 64 steps. So I'm going to set that. So track 9, enable record, hold down function, and press page. You get this sequence of page setup. So I want to actually do per track so that I will set the pattern length for the track. So press function, yes. And length, we want that to say 64. So the fastest way is just keep pressing page until it says 64. Okay, that's good. So exit, just press yes. So track 9, it's ready. So I don't know how to set it so that when I press play on Ableton, it will start recording on the Digitakt II. So this is how I do it. Well, actually, before I do this, let me change the sample on the Digitakt to the correct bass sample. To do that, you go into where it says SRC, and then SRC, and up there, that's the sample selector. So to get into it, you can turn this dial or press it down. So I pressed it down. So all my one-shot samples are in bank B. So to get to bank B, hit this right arrow, and then look for, I think it's 7. I don't think it's 7. We'll try 7. I'm not sure if that's the sample. It might be the sample. So, okay, so I've got it set up. So now on Ableton, I'm just gonna press play, and then on the Digitakt, just press stop. Okay, make sure it's stopped. So I'm gonna press play on Ableton, and on the Digitakt, just press record and play, and it will record the sequence. Okay, and stop it on Ableton. Now, press stop here, and I'm gonna play it back. So it's been recorded on the Digitakt. Although, no, I forgot again. I forgot the important step. This thing. So record function page. I need to set the reset here, because right now it's resetting on every 16 steps. So I want to turn this until it says 64. Forgot about that. 64, so yes. Press stop. Okay. Oh my god. Pocket camera. I gotta clear that. So to clear it, make sure that this thing is on. The red thing. Oops. Make sure it's on. Function and then play clear. Where it says clear. That will clear the track sequence. So press stop again. Okay, we'll do this again. Play on Ableton and then record play on. Oh, it says unquantized. We want to quantize it. So let me do this again. Play and play. It's quantized. Now it's recording. And it overrides. When it records, it does an override thing. So I am playing this loop a few times, so it records the entire sequence, and then I make sure to stop it where there's like a gap between the notes. Okay, anyways, stop and play. That should have recorded. Yep, it's good now. Okay, so the bass track for the first pattern is all done. Okay, so I am going to repeat that with all the tracks. So I'm gonna just pause and do that. All right, so I have finished recording the tracks. This is what it sounds like. Okay, so I wanted to show a few things here before we move on to the second pattern. Track 5, that's the congas. So I'm gonna record that. So first of all, it is 2 pages long. So I'll turn the record on, function page 32 steps, yes. And the sample, I've already set it to sample B20, I don't know what that says, Congo? Alright, so I'm gonna record it. Play it first on Ableton. I don't know why it sounds out of sync. But if I stop it and play it, it should be okay. Yep. Press record to see the steps. The sequence steps. So it's good. Okay, so what I wanted to show was how to parameter lock the sample selector, because for the congos there are 2 samples. So I know for step 5 it is sample 21. So what you do is hold down step 5, go into this dial, so I'll press it, and then go down to 21. Let go, and then now if you hold down step 5, sample will indicate it is number 21. I want to copy that trig. Copy that trig. So hold that down, function copy, and I want to copy it to trig 9? Trig? I think it's called trig. Can't remember. Step, trig. I'll just step 9. Okay, so hold down 9, function, paste, and it's copied. And on the second page, same thing. Step 5, paste it there. And 9, paste it. Okay, play it back. That's good. That's good. The second thing I want to do is the vocals. I want to show you the vocals. So I'm going to go to track 16 here. Vocal tracks function page is length 64 steps. Yes. And then the sample is, all my vocal samples are in bank C. So C, and the first one is this one. Voxel 01. So yes. So if I play it, well, okay, this is not a good example because the vocals don't come in until at the very end. Just for example, I'm gonna select this one. Yeah. Actually, you know, let me go to number 3. Let's do number 3. Okay, that's good. So for this, activate record mode, and on page 1, just gonna trigger the first step. Because if you remember, I had pre-chopped the vocal samples so that each sample is 4 bars long or 64 steps long. So if I play this, first of all, you know what, I'm gonna mute some tracks. So to mute, get out of this mode, function, it's all green. Let's just have bass and, you know, congas and the vocals. If you play it, you hear that? You could only the first little bit of that vocal sample played. Hear it? Let me, you know what? Let me mute the congas. See? You can only hear that part. So what you have to do is go to trig. The length, this length, need to max that out. So it's just gonna crank it to infinity. So now if you play it, you should play the whole thing. Okay, now I want to mention something here. So say I wanted to slow down the song. Okay, so slow down the song. Tempo, go to tempo. Say I wanted it to be 115 for some reason. Play that. Listen to the vocals. It goes out of sync. And the reason why is because the machine, so function and then machine, defaults to 1 shot. Okay. So if you want that vocal sample to stretch out, to stretch so that it stays in sync with the tempo change, okay, put it to stretch. So say yes. Now when you play it, it stretches out. It's good. So just make sure you change it to stretch. Here, demonstrate. Let's make it go slower. So it goes slow, but then the quality degrades. So just be careful. Just be careful when you do that. Okay, let's set it back to 125. Stop that. There is another machine, so I'll go back to machine, called Reverb. Let's try it. Play it. Okay, let me slow this down. But it sounds even worse. So we'll just leave it at stretch. Stretch it. And yeah, let's go back to 125. Okay, so that's what I wanted to just explain about long samples, like the vocal samples in this case. The next thing I want to talk about is this mallet sample, okay, which is on track 10. Okay, I need to unmute it. Okay, let me mute the vocals. Play this. So that mallet sample. So this is what the mallet sounds like on on Ableton, which okay, I put an effect on it. This is what it sounds like. Okay, I had to mute the reverb because that wasn't the effect I was talking about. So the effect that I put on here is a tremolo effect. Let me turn it off. And this is with it on. You can't really hear it. Okay, I'll max it out. Okay, so it's like a tremolo effect. But in the original song, the effect is called tremor, which I believe is like an effect that turns the sound on and off. And the closest effect that I could create to match that in Ableton was that tremolo effect. Okay, so I need to recreate that tremor or tremolo effects on the Digitakt. So track 10 is the mallet. So mute everything except for the kick drum. So this is what it sounds like now. Okay, so to create a tremolo or tremor sound, we want to go into the mod menu and change the waveform from the sine wave to a square. And we want to affect the amp volume. So we want to say yes. The square wave to, when it goes high, we want maximum volume, and then low is the minimum volume. So we need to set the depth. So right now, when I play, nothing happens. So we need to set the depth. So usually I would max it out. But for this, okay, I'll show you. So for now, I'll max it out. Okay. So right now, the speed is too slow. We gotta change that. Let me stop this. We gotta make it go faster. So what I actually want to do in this case is change the BPM. And change it to 64. So that's more like the effects, but still kind of choppy and weird. Okay, so we just play around with the depth. So this sounds okay, but there's like a little clicky sound in the beginning. So what I found worked best here is a negative value. It's a negative 48. Negative 48 sounds good. Can I get it right on 48? Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's how you do a tremolo sound on the Digitakt II. So same thing for the bell. Okay, let me try this. Me solo the bell. Okay, so that's on page 2. So I'm just gonna loop page 2. Okay, I'm gonna try this. So right now it's on. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can copy. So the mallet mod page. So to do that mod, so make sure this thing is not red. Mod function copy says copy page LFO01. Okay, now we want to go to track 11 and paste it. Mod function paste. Okay, great. See how that sounds. Okay. Is that what I want? No, I think for this one I want it all the way. Really? Apparently so. Oh, and I also want some reverb and chorus on that. So FX, reverb, mallet, I also want reverb. Let me unmute. And reset the loop. So all 64 steps play. Okay, let's play everything. So I don't think Digitakt II can do solo. Anyways, everything's on now. Let's play the entire thing. Okay, let's stop this and save it. So as I was playing that, I could tell that it needs to be mixed. Like those vocals are way too quiet. So the ultimate goal here is to create an entire song. So to do that, you gotta create multiple patterns and then sequence the patterns in order. And then it'll play the entire song that way. What you need to do is mix. You want to set the levels. All the effects and all that. And you want to do that right away. Because say later on, after you've created multiple patterns, say later on you realize, oh, like in this case, oh, the vocals are too quiet. I want to turn it up. You have to turn it up on all of the patterns. It doesn't do it globally. So you better get your mix right now. Luckily, there is a way to like copy the effects page and paste it. So it's just like what I showed here. When I copied the LFO from one track to another, you got to do that for all the patterns. Like this song has how many patterns? I think like 39. So like copy and paste it on to all 39 patterns for each track and each parameter page. Yeah, it gets tedious, but you develop the muscle memory, so it's not that bad, but still it's annoying. So just make sure you get your mix right, or get the balance right, as Depeche Mode said. Get the balance right. So those vocals. So there is a mixer page. It says mixer here. Hold function, go to it, press it again, and you get the track pages. Now the vocals are on track 16, so press it again until it says 16. So this knob is for vocals. If I turn it up, it will make it louder, but that's the max. So there's another way to increase the volume on that. There's several ways. So if you go to, I guess, this SRC, you could increase the sample level here. Okay, I'm just gonna reset that. So to reset it, just press the button down and then hit no. I'll reset that. I don't like setting the level there. And then there's another way here in an amp. There's a volume there. But I don't know. I don't like that either. So what I do like to do is in FX overdrive. That's what that means, overdrive. Let me just crank that. So let's play it. Okay, I can't tell if that's good, but for now it's good enough. And I think I need to set the reverb and chorus, all that. Whatever, okay? I'll just save this. But take the time to mix the very first pattern that you create. Okay, so next is to create a second pattern. So the Digitakt II, I don't think you can actually duplicate a pattern. But what you can do is create an empty pattern, copy a existing pattern, and then paste that into the empty pattern. So that's what I'm going to do here. So let me see if I can remember how to do this. Pattern. Okay, so this popped up. You select the bank and a pattern number. So 1 indicates that's the active pattern. 2, and press 2. 2 is an empty pattern right now. Well, if you go back to pattern 1, I'm going to copy that. Hold down pattern. Funk copy pattern. Now go to pattern 2. Pattern 2, yeah. And paste. Hold down pattern, funk, paste. Paste it. Pattern 1 into 2. So right now pattern 2 is a copy of pattern 1. Okay, first let me rename it. Oops. Rename it. In this case, I'm going to call it 40. You can name it whatever you want. I'm calling it 40. Yes. Oh, I need to go back to pattern 1, so to press pattern 1, because track 16, the sample, should be number 1. Yes. Okay, now switch to pattern 2. Oh, that's a faster way to switch. You hold down pattern and go between them. Okay. So pattern 2. That vocal sample, oops, I'm gonna change it to number 2. Yes, okay. So in pattern 2, the only difference now is the vocal pattern. Okay, but what you need to do for pattern 2 is change a bunch of things so that it's different, so that there's progression in the song. So I'm gonna do that, but I'll show you a couple of things. I'll show you. Okay, so what's different in pattern 2? A bunch of things. We'll do it with the mallet, which is track 10. Yeah, track 10. So first I'm going to start by clearing whatever sequence is there. Though I don't think that's necessary, because when I do the recording, is it live record? Is that what I'm doing? When I do that, it overwrites whatever's there. I'll show you how to clear anyway. So you press the record button, and then it's function and clear track sequence. So it's all clear. I'm gonna record pattern 2, or I guess it's called pattern 40 of the mallet now. Press stop. Okay. I don't know why the vocals sounded out of sync. Something weird is going on. But if I play it now, it should sound okay. Let me stop this recording, and I'm going to finish creating the second pattern. So I finished creating the second pattern. So now I can show you how to create a song using the Digitakt II song mode. So what you do is you go into song mode. So hold down function and then press where it says song. Or can you just press song? Okay, just press song. Select song 1. Okay, this is song 1. Song mode on. And then you want to go to edit it. So function song. Okay, the song is empty. Function down to insert a row. And that's what we're gonna do. So function down. First row here. Okay, so first row. Label. So you can set a label. Just turn this knob. Once you've highlighted that, turn the knob. This is gonna be intro. So I guess you can either set it to the pattern name if you want. It's 39. That's not very descriptive. So I'm gonna call it intro. So yes. Pattern is A01. That's what I want. That's the very first pattern. This is, what's that? Loop, I guess. That's what that means, loop. Keep it at 1. And pattern length 64. Keep it at 64. 125 is the beats per minute. And then this last one is if you want to mute the tracks or something like that. I have not looked into that, so I can tell you what that's about. Okay, now I want to make a second row. So function down, number 2. So the pattern, I want to change that to A02. And everything else should be okay. Let's play the song. So just press play. So it's set to loop once it reaches the end, which is fine, but it can get annoying when it loops like that. So I'll change that to just say stop. And I also realized I did not sequence the mallet. Okay, so to get back to the pattern mode, just press pattern. It's going to ask you which bank, which pattern. So it's pattern 2. Track 10. I did not sequence this, so I think it's clear, but I'll just clear it again. Make sure. Okay, let me just record this. Okay, enough. Let's make sure it's recorded. Alright, save it. So I don't know what's going on, why things are like out of sync when I'm recording. I don't know what's going on. There might be some kind of lag or latency somewhere around here. It's fine, because when I play it, it seems to be okay. Alright, so we made our song. That's it, the end. But it's not the end, okay? This song has 39 patterns. I'm going to give you a bunch of tips, okay? Because I learned a bunch of things from creating 39 patterns. So you can set 1 BPM for the entire song. We go into song here. You notice BPM, it says 125 for each pattern. I'll give you an example. Say you want to change that to, let's slow it down. Say you want to slow it down. Okay, 110. Go to your song, play it. Notice only the first pattern is set to 110. When it plays the second row, it's gonna go back up to 125. And then say you have 39 patterns. You don't want to be setting the BPM for each row. And then also when you're playing live, and say you just want to nudge the tempo, you don't want to be nudging that for each row as it goes along. So let me change this back. Okay, so to change the BPM for the entire song, this is what you do. Okay, notice here at the top it says row 01. Okay, so that's indicating you're going to be changing the BPM for the first row only. I don't know why it doesn't indicate this anywhere on this menu. And it's also nowhere in the manual. So what you do here is press function, yes, and it changed to song. So now you can set the BPM for the entire song. I want to slow it down to 109. Yes, now all the rows say 109. And it's slow. Let me go back to 125. Yes, back to 125 for both of them. A second tip is how to play from any roll. So you press stop. If you press stop, or if say you switch the pattern, right, and then you want to go back to the song mode, it will always go back to the first roll. Say you want to start playing from the second roll. So what you do is highlight that roll. You need to then highlight the roll number and then press yes, and you see the arrow jumps to number 2. So now when you press play, it starts from row 2. Okay, so another tip. Say you've created patterns and you filled them all up. Okay, just pretend I've created 16 patterns. But that's not the end of the song. I want to create some more patterns. How do you create the 17th pattern? Okay. Just so you know, the Digitakt, you are able to create how many patterns? You can create more than 16 patterns. I don't know the number. Well, if you see here, how many banks are there? 8 banks? So 8 times 16 patterns. Mental math, can I do this? 128? So you can have 128 patterns in one project. So as you can see here, I've demonstrated. Let me do this over again. You just press pattern, this thing pops up, and you want to go to the next bank. B, press 1. Okay, it's apparently still in song mode. So now, yeah, we're in bank B, pattern 1. So that's how you make the 17th pattern. That's all the tips I'm willing to reenact. Yeah. I am tired and it's time to stop. What time is it now? 1:15 a.m. Way beyond my bedtime. It's Sunday. No, it's Monday right now. So it is Labor Day. I should be up. No, I shouldn't be up partying. I should just be in bed. Some final thoughts. In conclusion, I made a song using the Digitakt II, and it took me only 1.5 months. Not bad. Next on my list, I need to replace all those forbidden sounds like the bells and pizzicato strings with anything else. Like maybe with my modular synth or MC505 or something. Anything. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. First of all, I can't think straight right now. I can't. I'm too tired. Final thoughts. Look at my posture. Look at the way I'm. It is fun. It is fun to use the Digitakt II. Okay? Unlike the MC505. Fun to use the Digitakt II. Okay? I did originally get it to use as a drum machine. So these additional features, like being able to create multiple patterns and putting it together to create a song, that's a nice added bonus. But I realized the Digitakt II, I don't think it was meant to be for song production, or at least for the types of songs that I like to create. which tend to be songs with a lot of layers, a lot of melodies, a lot of notes, and a lot of variations. Not so much repetitive loops, where the song progression is or involves muting and unmuting tracks. It is inspiring me to make more songs, like to recreate. I'll say that, to recreate a whole bunch of my crappy tracker songs that I made as a 90s teenager. Now that I've figured out a workflow which involves Ableton Live. And I want to use more of my hardware instruments, like my modular synth, which probably means having to buy more modules. And hopefully the songs come out not as crappy. I look forward to replacing all the forbidden samples, all the forbidden instruments such as the bells and pizzicato strings with cooler samples. I hope you enjoy my presentation of recreating a full song on the Digitakt II. Join me again next time when I do something else.